one of the guests that was at the party, he
did not want to leave.
No, he didn't. He wasn't even like, he was mad that he was leaving, but he leaned back into the house, and then the door was open. He started boom, boom, boom.
Oh my God.
What?
Like, those are your buddies. Those are your people that you're shooting. He
Yeah.
wasn't even shooting the gray. He just turned back, boom, boom, and he shot a couple people.
Not he shot a couple people.
Oh my God.
What's up, world? You're tuning into another episode of Once Upon a B&B. I'm Ans.
And we got Ian.
And this is Maha. And we have a special guest joining us today from Texas. This is Shawn. Welcome to Once Upon a B&B. Hey, Shawn. What part of Texas did you say you're in?
I'm in Dallas.
Ah, okay, cool.
I like
cool.
Dallas.
Dallas is cool.
I found in Dallas. Yeah.
Too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I love
it's
Dallas.
Like cool.
It's aight.
Yeah.
Nobody loves Dallas.
Do you love Dallas, Shawn?
Raise a kid. If you're gonna raise a family, Dallas is where it's at. But
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
what I hear.
That's what my better half has pitched to me. She says we need to leave.
You're moving?
To Dallas?
When after to have little ones. You know, this is like
Okay.
10
I think Atlanta's a good place to raise kids. You don't have to leave and go to Dallas.
She's ever moving to Texas?
No, it's not. Have you been to Atlanta?
I've been to Atlanta. I'm not raising family there.
Oh my gosh, please tell us
Damn.
more. What part did you visit? You know, it's various parts. The city.
Atlanta to me made me remember my time living in Houston.
Yeah,
but,
Yeah, it is.
Just like Houston.
It is just like Houston.
Yeah. But Houston seemed more fun. I was going around with all my people from Atlanta, and I was like, is this really all your city has to offer?
Oh,
Like,
man.
Wow. We
wow.
are not getting off on the best foot
you
here,
from
Shawn.
Texas?
Jeez.
Like born and
yeah.
raised in Texas?
I was born in California, but I was pretty much raised in Texas.
Okay.
How long ago was this Atlanta visit? Because it's changed like completely in the past 10 years.
During the Olympics? Or-
was it the 96 Olympics? Because we have come up since then.
No, it's in the last 7 years, I've been there like 3 or 4 times.
Damn, that's a fair
Maybe your
time for
friends are just boring.
Yeah, that's it. You got to come hang with us, Shawn.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, if you go to Houston and you don't know anybody, then I don't know if you'd have that great of a time.
Yeah,
but
that's
whenever
true,
I lived in
actually.
Houston, anybody that came in were like, man, Houston's badass. Like, this place is amazing. Like, yeah.
I do
It's
like
about who you
Houston.
know.
I mean, that's what people say about Atlanta, except for you. But
But here we
No.
are.
no.
I'm down to try it again. I've had that thing happen 3 times where people are like, oh, no, you just got to go with us this time. And I go,
Challenge accepted.
Damn.
Right.
Exactly.
This podcast uses Atlanta because
Right. Exactly.
we do use a little Zoom, but a lot of in-person guests too.
Yeah, most of our guests are from here, but so you're in.
Follow-up podcast, post Atlanta trip.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, did you go to the strip clubs at least, or?
That's all I did.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's not a strip club fan.
Are you just not a fan of the strip clubs, or you just didn't like ours?
Houston has some good strip clubs too, though, but I
I
mean,
honestly didn't go to strip clubs. I went to a couple of comedy clubs. I went to a couple of actual clubs, and then I went to couple of karaoke clubs, and then I did the restaurant circuit, stuff like that. But I think I just wasn't going to the right places.
Maybe we'll chalk it up to that.
Picky.
Yeah. So you are in the real estate world, right? Kind of a combination real estate, Airbnb, short-term rental type business.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a
so
couple of your videos that were Airbnb arbitrage hell. So I'm thinking you have is that where your stories come from?
Are your stories as a host or as guests or both?
So I don't actually do arbitrage. My buddy does arbitrage, and I do the buy and hold. And so basically, I buy a house, and then I put it on Airbnb, and then I start doing really well with that. And then so I just start telling my friends. And my friends are like, "Hey, we want you to just break it all down for us." So I start making videos, and then so I post it just for my other friends to watch. That way, I can share it between all my friends. That way, they can all just make money.
Okay.
And then that started getting out, and then other people start watching the videos. And so now I'm helping a lot of people make money doing how I do it.
Fun. So I saw one of your videos, but I didn't turn the sound on when you were saying, should you? I mean, just that one. But you were asking, should you stack your rooms with bunk beds or just go normal beds? What was the answer to that question?
So it depends on the property and what you're going for. So obviously, as you three are adults, and so if you wanted to go into a house together, is it more exciting for you guys to share a bed and bunk it up, or is it for you have your own bed?
Yeah.
And so if you're doing something, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer the question, even though I feel like I know the answer.
No, that was it.
I mean, I'd rather not bunk.
Rather not bunk, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather be a little spacious.
A lot of adults don't want to bunk, and so if you have something next to like a water park or like a theme park or something like that, then it might make sense to do bunk beds because you might be attracting more younger people. But if you're doing something that's more for adults, birthday parties, weddings, and bridal showers, stuff like that, then it's best to have single rooms or two fulls in one room. It's better than a bunk bed.
Okay. So when you buy and hold, are you still holding everything that you've ever bought, or do you buy, hold, and then sell?
That's a good question. So right now, it doesn't really make sense for you to. It depends on if you want to get out of the game completely. So, say for instance, there's something that happened medically to your family, or if you got a really great opportunity where your friend just created a new crypto coin or something, and then you know it's going to take off. But if you buy a property, say for instance, a property that I bought 3 years ago, I bought for $315,000. It just appraised for like just under $700,000.
Oh wow!
And so you would think that's a good deal because now I have this extra $350 something thousand, whatever, of pure equity that I have in it. But then I sell it, and now I just made all that money. But if I'm trying to buy another investment property, then I have to put that money down on another property.
Right.
And that property now is worth $700,000. So it's like, what's the point in having this equity unless you do something really baller and just say, quit, and I'm done, and you move to like Thailand, and then you can just hang out for 10 years on that equity.
Do you do any cash out refinances or?
Cash out refinance is another great option if you want to speed and accelerate the a lot of great.
Do what I do. It's a podcast.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's good. So if you cash out refi, then that is great to accelerate the process and buy more faster.
Yeah.
And that's really great whenever certain things like rates are going up and you want to try to get in before the rates go up. Also, appreciation rate's pretty crazy right now. And so if you want to get in before the appreciation takes off like a mad train, I don't know. What's a good analogy? I don't know. But that's a good opportunity to speed up the acceleration. The downside of that is that whenever you do that, you make it harder for you to pay the houses off.
Yeah,
so it depends on. Have you ever heard of the term the deep roots or wide roots?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so if you want to just do wide roots, then just get as many houses as possible and don't worry about it. But what I try to teach my friends is that you want to try to get 5 houses and do wide and deep at the same time. So build up the equity, but at the same time.
That's a good analogy.
Wide and deep is a good way.
Yeah, and then you want to try to get it to where you have the ability to pay off the houses. Because having 20 homes but making very little profit is not as sexy as having 5 homes that are paid off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
$15,000 a month without having to work.
Yeah. So are all your properties in Dallas, or are they around Texas or around the country, or?
Me personally, my properties and the clients that I work with are around Dallas. I did help some people in Austin, but the market got so out of control in Austin that I just wasn't able to find the deals that make the numbers that I want to make work. And then we just closed a few homes in Houston. We can build up the Houston market if we really get enough demand, but I don't want to be driving back and forth to make the same money that I would just be doing in Dallas.
So how many properties?
So we only have like 3 clients.
Okay. So 3 clients, I guess.
In Houston.
Okay. How many properties do you currently manage, whether it's Airbnb or you plan to like invest and sell eventually? Currently, how many properties?
Hey guys, this is Maha from Once Upon a B&B. Make sure you like and subscribe to us on all streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram at Once Upon a B&B. And if you have a crazy travel story to share, make sure you hit us up. Bye.
So I don't manage anything. I'm
you
not
own
a manager.
them.
Yeah, I own them.
Okay.
And so I have a property manager that between my clients and my friends and I, he's got about 30 something properties.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was actually my assistant. And then he just saw how bad I was at managing things. Like,
Same.
It's a guy thing.
Some people can hunt, some people can gather. I mean, some people can do both, but I can't. And so
I can do either.
he stopped helping me in my real estate as much. He started helping me with my properties, and then he started helping more of my properties. And eventually he's like, I'm just going to do your properties, bro. And then, and I was like, hey, help my friend and my other friend. And then my client. Boo. Now he started with me when he was just out of high school and he was going into college. And now he's 21 and now he's pulling in like over $1 million in revenue a year.
Oh,
he doesn't
wow.
take $1 million, but he actually manages like over $1 million in revenue. And
That's
so actually more than that. I think last year he did like 3.5 or 4 million, something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting for him.
That is. Just creating opportunities for your friends, for everyone around you, it seems like.
Did he have to manage any fucked up shit?
Right.
Do you have stories for us? That was our segue. What is your craziest, most interesting Airbnb or like short-term rental story so far?
That was a masterclass in segue, by the way. Yes, man, he popped in.
Do you have to manage any fucked up shit?
Yeah, I mean, just this week alone, I mean, one of his dark. I don't know how much details you want to know about that, but
all the deets.
Yeah, some stories are pretty dark. Some are funny. Some are not so funny. But like, say for instance, this week alone, in just my properties, not everyone else's properties, but we had my newest property, which is awesome. It's like a little mini casino. And we got this property right outside of downtown Dallas, and this one goes for like $1,000 to $1,200 a night on the weekends.
Wait, what do you mean it's like a little mini casino? Elaborate.
So I bought this place. It was like 3,500 square feet and 2 stories, like 4-bedroom house. But there was enough parking on the street and street parking, and the neighbors weren't that bad. To where I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to turn the garage into a casino. And so I painted all the inside of it black. And then I have these cool chandeliers and these wall sconces that are Edison bulbs. And
cool.
then inside I have these really nice blackjack tables, poker tables. And then I have another casino thing. I can't remember what it is.
Slot machine?
Yeah, right. No, man, I don't know why my brain's not working. It's a poker, blackjack, and something else.
Roulette?
I think it might be roulette.
Okay.
And then and a pool table. And then I have like cool benches and seats and stuff. But I converted the garage into that. And then a whole bar area and everything. And TVs everywhere. And like a betting station.
So that was your vision. That was your vision for the property, yeah? This is like, I want to turn this place into a fucking casino and like, is that kind of how you handle your new properties where you're looking for the next place that you can just know? Like,
do they all have a theme?
Or be like premium, high end kind of?
Man, yeah, you guys, how many homes do you guys have?
I just do out of my own, my one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're Airbnb like vets.
Yeah, I have to, but I don't Airbnb them anymore. My HOA stopped that real quickly.
No HOAs. That's
Yeah.
That's just a sad lesson to learn if you didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I knew it, but I was just trying to get away with it still.
I know people are making like $30K a month on HOAs, and then they come in and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Because they all that profit. But anyways, yeah, so that house is killing it. I've had that house it's been on the market since January, and it's been doing great. It's been doing like average 12, 15K months.
Oh, wow.
And so that's fun. But then this last one this week, we had a young girl come in there with her friends from Vancouver, and she actually mixed up some medicine, and she did not make it.
What?
So
oh my gosh.
We had
Jesus.
another guest coming in at 4, and the detectives, the crime scene people were there at like 1. And
What?
so yeah, we have this 21-year-old kid handling this stuff with that. I was out of town. I didn't know what was going on. And then he's like, hey, by the way, they're wheeling the body out. And we have a guest, and the cleaners coming in now. And the guests are coming
Cleaning
in
a crime scene. Jesus
Right.
Christ. Or not a crime scene, but like a,
No,
Kind of.
Kind of.
Well, the detectives were there for a crime scene because they're trying to figure out it was foul play.
Yeah.
So
And they
like-
found out it was not, right?
that it's still ongoing.
TBD.
Yeah, this is last week. You don't have probably a
Jeez.
report back
that's
from the
really sad.
No, it
autopsy
wasn't
report.
last week. It was like 4 days ago.
So yeah,
Oh
you can't have an autopsy report yet, so they can't know.
So
Yeah,
does
they said there was medication mix up just because of some details I won't go into, but
oh man.
But yeah, that was tough. And then he had to deal with that. And so this young kid is having to deal with that kind of stuff. And so that's like one of those, you have all the stuff. So that's on the dark side. Also, 2 nights ago.
Yeah, cheer us up. That was depressing. Give us a fun story now.
And so on the property that I had a fun YouTube video that had a few views on, a rapper came in, and so that house was the house I told you about for 315, and now it's like 700, just under 700,000. So that neighbor, thanks to all the stuff that happened when I first bought the property, because that property just was like, let's bring in all the people. And we had crazy things happen on that property, which I'll tell you in a second. But that neighbor is not very happy with me, but we've been super strict about parties. And so we haven't had any parties in like a year and a half, thanks to COVID too.
Well, I was going to ask that about the casino house. Does that not lend itself to parties, like having a whole casino in
for
there?
sure.
It's the price point and the way that you build out the property. So kind of like what he said is, do I have a vision, or asked, do I have a vision and a theme or whatever going into it? To answer that question, you look at the house, you look at the neighborhood, and you look at your competition. Back in the day when I started this, I would just like buy a house, and then what furniture does my mom have in her garage?
Yeah.
We'll still have in there. What's some IKEA, Craigslist, put some stuff in there, and then we'll make money. And now you can't do that. Now you got to be like, why is this house? Because you got to look at all the other home in the areas. You're like, this house has a pool. This house has an awesome backyard. This house, blah, 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 blah.
Got to stand out.
Why would people book at my place? And especially for $1,000 a night, if the other house looks awesome, why is my house more awesome for the same price? And so I make sure to do some cool things to separate myself while also still getting premium. But that's the key, is premium. Yeah. If you try to be cheap, you're gonna get what you put forward in life in general. Right. And so if you try to be cheap, you're gonna get cheap. And so with that particular house, the furniture is cheap, the decorations are cheap, the price per night's like $499, $599. I think maybe in the summer it goes up to $650, $699. But that kind of clientele that comes in a 5-bedroom house that is paying on average $25 to $50 per person that comes in, depending on how many guests comes, and they split it. I mean, that is nothing. And so they're very little invested. So like, let's whatever, tear this place apart. We don't really care. And so if you're bringing clientele that are paying the same amount for your house per night as like a nice cheeseburger with fries and a drink, then I mean, you're asking for trouble. So like last 2 nights ago, I guess we brought in some people that like to listen to really heavy bass all the way up to 4 a.m. in the morning. And so the neighbor texted Josh and was like, yo, stop this. And so he went over there, stop it. And then it didn't stop. And so the neighbor got a big rock and then threw it through the window in like one's bedroom.
Oh my God.
Everything
very bold.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to Texas. Like what?
While Josh was handling that first problem we talked about, now he's under a police report, and police are coming out and looking at footage, and he's having to go through footage and send that and talk to the police and stuff like that with that.
No matter how angry you are.
That's back to back.
Period. Back to back, literally that night, and then the next day that
poor
happens.
Kid.
Jesus.
He's getting paid well.
Yeah, right. Is he stressed?
What's his commission? Like, is he giving a nice slice of the pie?
Right.
So worth his while?
How much of that $3.5 million is he taking home?
Is he pocketing? Because it's a lot of stress. Okay.
Right.
I can tell you, it's not enough. He's trying to build his business right now, and so he's being competitive with his prices. And I'm like, bro, you need to step up your prices. Like this, you're going through
back to the premium. Back to the premium.
Yeah.
So do you it's your property, but you let him determine the prices?
Well, it depends on the client. And so for me, I already know what the properties can make. And so it's very easy to manage your own prices. You say, this is what it is, this far enough out. And when it comes to a month before, then you start looking at openings, you start seeing if there's a like 4-day and like a 3-day, and there's a one thing in between, then you lower the price on that one.
Right.
And
So
as you get
is it a balance that you're noticing between, keeping that premium and then wanting to maintain occupancy for your month in? You can plug in the calendar, but if you lower it too much, what are you inviting in? It's not worth it anymore.
So that's the hard thing about Airbnb is they reward people that have high occupancy. And so if you want to keep on getting a lot of bookings, then you want to make sure that your occupancy is high. But if you get a high occupancy, that means you have to lower the price so low that then now what are you doing? And so like this casino house, I have a $250 minimum on the weekday. And if I can't get it filled up, no, I'm sorry, $200 minimum on the weekday. So if I can't get it filled up from 350, 300, 275, 250, and then last minute, I'll just do like 200 the day before. And I stop there. Other properties, I go down to $75. But again, if you're splitting that between like 10 people, people are like nothing. Yeah. And so there's a diminishing returns at that point that you just don't want to put your property that much at risk just for a little extra percentage of occupancy. It's better just leave it vacant at that point.
Right. So you keep saying your clients, like explain that client relation. Like what do they hire you to help determine like, what price points to set, how to furnish it? What exactly do you do for your clients?
I'm thinking the hunting.
Finding the houses?
Finding the houses.
Ah, okay.
For hunter-gatherer.
Right.
Everything.
Okay.
I can hunt. Like that's why I just got like I came in, sat down, did my bed, and then put this on is because I just was looking at a property that just pulled up in just south of Dallas. And I go out and I see something, I check every morning and I see a good deal and I'm like, boom. So I go out there, I videotape it. I work with about 40 investors right now and they're all pre-approved. They have to be pre-approved from like over 400,000. And now it's like, I have to kind of bump it up to 500,000. But when I find a good deal, I send it to the group. I'm like, hey, whoever jumps in this quickest, send me your offer, or I'll send the offer over, but send me the price that you're comfortable with. It makes sense at the numbers that I need it to make sense at. If you offer this, everything over that, you guys do whatever you want. And so I send it out. Whoever says, let's go, then I write up the offer, I send it over, and we try to get a contract in a day.
Okay. And then your job stops there. You just find them the property and then they're on their own from there, or do you?
Once they close,
Okay.
I get them if they have questions. I'm not like delete my number, but I help them with recommendations on stuff if they have certain questions. But I try to refer them to the YouTube channel because it's like I put a lot of content on there, and it's hard whenever someone's like, "Hey, tell me about that one thing." It's like, well, I actually just made a video about that.
And you got your views up. Okay.
Well, then, and it's also fueling the desire to get into the business is fueling your real estate.
Yeah.
Your service as a real estate agent. Is it not? Like all your clients, right? They're buying
they have
houses.
to buy through you.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it helps, but it's kind of hurt my business more than it's helped my business because before I did this, I was selling first-time home buyers. I mean, I was selling a ton of homes and it was fun going around helping people, first-time home buyers. But now I sell less homes because people have just branded me as this Airbnb guy. And so now
I was going to ask if you were just doing the Airbnb stuff now or if you still are just a regular real estate agent listing and selling.
I would love to, but yeah, it's just people
they
like
pigeonholed you.
And I'm like, you're not bothering me. It's my job. They're like, well, I know you're trying to focus on the Airbnb thing. Like, no, because
no, actually,
yeah. Hey, you reach out, let me know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Ansley dabbles in real estate.
Yes, I'm licensed. I never thought about somebody pigeonholing you into a certain market and therefore that affecting your business negatively. Yeah, that's cool.
Say for instance, you have on your Instagram, you post a lot of videos about you touring condos, and then you're like, well,
you're the condo guy.
You're the condo girl in Atlanta. And then people, you're like, no, I do condos. Like, I do. And so that's I did a bad job of wide branding because I literally just was trying to help people. I was like, I'm not an Instagram guy. I'm not a social media guy at all.
Not a Zoom guy.
I mean, I kind of just want to be left alone. I want to make just enough money on Airbnb. That way I can just go live in another country 6 months out of the year and be left alone.
Goals, yes.
Right. But you're kind of told, like, as a marketer to, like, pick a target and focus on that target. And so when you do that, you forget that, okay, I might be Xing out these possible other clients as well.
Yeah, so you got to create different channels. Like, if, say, for instance, you have the condo girl, Atlanta, whatever. And then you got to have the HOA, like a townhome girl, too. But you got to create 2 different profiles on TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and all.
You might just be like the guy, like you like helping people though. I think if that's like your lane, I can just help you. It doesn't matter, as long as it's under this umbrella, I help. And I think people relate to that and connect with that because it's like a place of service. Like, he can help me with this, he can help me with that. So it might be cool. 2023.
All right, we got the rock through the window. We got the unfortunate mixing of drugs. What other crazy stories
in 1 week?
Have for us? I know, all within 4 days of each other. So
you got an oldie but a goodie,
right?
Yeah, oldie but a goodie. I mean, it's just there's so many. Like, how do you even choose?
The best.
When you have Airbnb, when you have Airbnbs, when you have one, especially if you're a first-time Airbnb person, then every little thing, like finding a pile of throw up in the corner that's been there for a week or two because the cleaners didn't do it, like my buddy Paul just went through. That is a devastating thing. You're like, oh my God.
Did the guests come in and see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guests come in and I'm looking at them like, that's just a Monday, bro. Like, that's nothing.
I have a similar story, but when I was Airbnb-ing my own house, my dog, for some reason, my dad likes to give my dog Lactate Milk to drink, like she's like a kitten or something. And he had left that.
Like a little kid.
I know, she is, little baby Janet. But he had left the Lactate, like, in, one of the guest bedrooms. And the cleaners came, cleaned, I guess did not put that up. I had a guest come stay for like 4 days and leave, and literally he never mentioned it. But after he left, I found the Lactate like in the room, a little bowl that had like hardened of Lactate milk. But he was a super polite Asian guy and just like never mentioned, didn't say anything about it.
Americans keep milk in their.
He's like, maybe this is an American thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
A fun story for you guys is that one property. I swear for a while there, I got on like some kind of thread that I didn't know about that they were sending it between all of each other, like, book this house. But after what's that guy's name? Man, I can't remember the name of the rapper. But anyways,
yeah, we forgot to ask who the rapper was that you mentioned that stayed in your house.
My buddy knows. While I'm talking, I'm gonna text him because he's the one that found the YouTube video, and
we'll drop that in the comment.
Yeah.
We'll splice
We've
that
had
in
a few
right now.
rapper stories.
What?
Yeah.
Ian had a famous rapper having like an armed robbery at his Airbnb.
And I had
that happens all the time.
Dude, that guy's huge now, by the way. Young Bands
I know.
is like very popular now.
And very free.
Yeah, and not in prison at all for this armed robbery. But
that took place at my house.
So we had my buddy Ray. He just was on the last interview of my last video posted. And he's had multiple shootings at his place. I've only had one shooting at mine.
What do you do to cover that up?
We had a shooting one also. Shooting episode, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how it wasn't even like a meme. The first one for him was just a party and he broke it up. And then one of the guests that was at the party, he
did not want to leave.
No, he didn't. He wasn't even like, he was mad that he was leaving, but he leaned back into the house and then the door was open. He started boom, boom, boom.
Oh my God.
What?
Like, those are your buddies. Those are your people that you're shooting. He
Yeah.
wasn't even like shooting the Ray. He just turned back, boom, boom. And he shot a couple people.
Not he shot a couple people.
Oh my God. Like people got hit?
One guy got hit in the shoulder and he was in the hospital. One person had to get to emergency for the leg.
Oh my God.
And then one person got grazed. But yeah.
So there you're probably like, that's terrible review possibly, right?
Yeah, give me 1 star.
If I'm you, I'm trying to like call everybody like, they're terrible. They had a shooting. You got to wipe them before they say, hey, 2 stars. Decent.
Yeah,
great
how
house.
did you manage that?
But I got shot.
Got shot.
Great
By
party.
my own friend.
But it wasn't. It was their guest. Yeah, by your friends. So how can you be mad at the guy?
Right. Wow.
That is so crazy.
We had one real big situation that we had to get like a bunch of police out because after the rap video came out, everyone wanted to book that house, and it was like,
oh, the rapper shot a video at your house.
Oh yeah. I mean, guns on the table, bongs, like it was strippers.
Rappers don't smoke bongs.
Right? They smoke what's in the bong.
Right.
No, I haven't had a bong in a while. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're a little ADD over here. Continue. Sorry.
I'm right there with you. And so we had 1 week, 2 weeks after that, and my neighbors hated me. This is the same neighbor that just threw a rock in the window.
Yeah.
And frustration, trust me, I understand. This house has been like a curse for me too. I've been making money on it, but it's like, I don't know, just thanks to that rap video, just everyone wants to book that house that is not the best guest. And so
he like linked the Airbnb in his rap video.
That's what I did with Ford Fiesta. I literally had screenshots from "Fuck It Up, Suh," the Schoolie song that was recorded in my
Fuck It Up, Suh.
and SUHH, yeah. And I would have those just like in my ad, like you're scrolling through, like you're in the normal like professional photos, and then boom, Schoolie, just dancing on my table.
You might have to just like, give your neighbor some money, like, just a little pocket change.
Some hush money.
Yeah, some hush
No,
money.
fuck that neighbor. He threw a rock through the window.
This is true. They took it over. That's Texas, though, I feel like.
That is
Who
very
does
Texas.
that?
He chose violence. I can't believe that.
In Texas? In Texas? What?
Well,
yeah,
He was standing his ground.
I had a neighbor war, but we didn't escalate.
No rocks.
Yeah, no rocks.
Yeah, the neighbor wars you can't win by paying them off. We've tried. There's been, like I said, there's hundreds of stories I can tell you, but whenever you start, especially in these low income areas, it's our fault. We buy these big homes next to like shacks. Like my buddy just bought this massive home, and literally drug dealers, like Friday. I don't know if you remember Friday, where they're just gonna hang out in the
we
patio.
remember.
It's a classic. Cult classic.
And then people drive up and they come out and they do a little handshake thing, money, and then come back. And I'm like, wow, that just happened. And that's the neighbor. And there's like 6 of them. They're just hanging out on the porch, just smoking weed all day.
Yeah, but I bet they're not complaining about Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Those are actually
Those are the best
That's
neighbors.
perfect.
Right.
Okay.
It's a careful balance because now you don't want to.
You might get some bad reviews,
Exactly.
but they're not going to complain.
Right. But here's the thing. If they do decide to stand up and do something like, hey, doing some the situations that we've had before is parking their car to where the people can't park into the driveway.
Oh, damn.
Or whenever they show up, they kind of stand there and they stare at them and they start yelling at them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Sounds
and then
about
they
right.
say, we'll stop if you pay us. And so you start paying them $50 again.
Oh, wow. It's a shakedown.
And then it starts getting
Extortion.
expensive, and it gets hundreds of dollars, and then they get their friends to tell their friends about it, and their friends start playing with your house. And they start cutting the electricity. They start cutting the
You should just
line.
buy up the trap houses next door then.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
That's kind of what we end up
Wide
having
and
to do.
deep
Yeah. Wide and deep.
roots.
Yeah.
Good man
Yeah.
knows.
Going out.
That sounds very Atlanta, though. The
It
mansions
does.
next to the trap house. That's exactly how it
It
is.
sounded
here.
like my business plan when I was picking out Ford Fiesta. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
His was the trap house. Awesome. Well, thank you, Shawn.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites was whenever that one house. I've been trying to tell a story, but I'm so ADD. So that one house, a week later, we found out that they brought another rap video out, and then they took their cars to block. This is a main road, by the way.
Mhm.
They took their cars sideways, that the road goes like this, and so they parked the cars like that and like that down the street. That way, no people that live there can come in and come out, or they
Shut
can't
up.
use the road to get to their other houses. So
Oh, wow.
there are straight up cars blocking the
Oh,
roads.
they blocked it off of the video.
In the middle of the middle of the road, they had this nicer car, and they had strippers all naked, apart from just
I knew there was going to be strippers.
on the cars, and they were twerking on the cars. You're like, oh, and then they had the music blaring outside on the street on a residential neighborhood, and then they have people with guns and stuff like that. And all
Oh,
this
they
stuff
hate you.
And so So this was happening. They blocked it for about 3 hours, and the music were out there, and they're doing this stuff. They had the film crew and everything for like 3 hours.
No permits, I assume.
No permits. No. The cops came out. And then there was about 10 cop cars trying to break it up, and then it was just a mess. And then it got aggressive. Then the neighbors came out. There's like 20 neighbors. There's a group of neighbors that are like petitioning us like to get these people kicked out. And then man, it just was a mess. They started creating a Facebook group, an organization to like kick me out of it.
Ian's been there. Ian has been there.
I was just kicked out of the neighborhood Facebook group. They didn't start it.
They didn't start, their own.
They didn't band together in a coalition against me.
They did, but they
within the existing framework.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you
survived. Both of you survived.
All right, before we let you go, did your friend text you back the rapper's name? If not, just email it to us later.
Yeah, I got to email it to you.
We'll link
And
to the
pictures.
video. Yeah, and which song it is so we can put the music video in there too.
Like 5 racks, stacks, bands. Oh man, there's something. It was something and the videos.
Money, stacks, racks, and bands.
That's a good song title actually. 5 stacks, racks, bands.
It's giving hook. It's giving hookish.
You guys enjoy it. It's such a bad music video. But
I was a fan of Fuck It Up Suh.
Fuck It Up Suh.
It had a plot, which was like he steals this guy's girl at the party. That was the plot, but it had a plot.
It had a storyline.
Yeah,
We can
most rap
appreciate
videos do
that.
not have a plot, but that's pretty good.
We can appreciate it.
I do want to say one thing before I go. These stories are fun. They're 100% fun. They're fun to talk about. They're fun to share war stories. But in the end, that is not obviously the goal. I don't like them. I don't want them. And I have tried my best to become more responsible with time. We've had less and less stories. Unfortunately, the things happened just recently. But
last week begs to differ.
That's what I'm saying. You can't control what people do inside your house, like medicine and stuff. But and we've had a lot of sound. I recommend for any of your listeners that are watching this. We have really intense camera systems and sound systems, and basically, if there's any kind of decibel level, it tells us. We just right away. We have a security crew now that comes out, like they're off-duty cops or they're whatever security guards.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have immediate cop control, so we immediately jump on them. We talk to the police, know exactly what to say, how to get it done quick, how to kick them out. We don't try to prioritize money anymore. We try to prioritize our neighbors' peace. It's fun whenever you are making money, and then there's oh God, we got a guy that shot a person. But again, there's a neighbor next door, and they've lived there for 5, 10, 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's shootings, there's drugs, there's all sorts of stuff. So there is a sense of responsibility to the neighbors, and I know that. And again, it's fun to tell these stories, but again, there's people that live in these neighborhoods, and we're doing our best to protect them and to not make more stories.
Yeah.
But we don't want it, and we're trying to prevent it from happening.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing it home, Shawn.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on possibly your first Zoom ever, all the way from Dallas.
May your next story be a travel story on an Airbnb in Taiwan.
Yeah, we do that too.
Oh, yeah.
It's a travel / Airbnb podcast.
I have some crazy stories. I stayed at a princess's mansion in Thailand on Koh Tao, and I have the footage and everything.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back with that one.
Definitely. We're going to have a part 2 with you then, Shawn.
That was a cool one.
All right.
Well, this has been...
Show me what's up.
This has been another... What did you say?
This has been another episode of What's Fun to B&B. It's Ian.
This is Maha.
Zoom's cause delays, and sometimes we talk over each other, so it's okay. And that was Shawn, Ian, and Shawn. Thanks, Shawn.
Take care, Shawn.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.